Morning, guys, or afternoon, depending. But at the moment, it's morning, at least for me. Um, Sitting here waiting on butter to soften, eggs get to room temperature, and we're gonna make some cookies. Excuse me. A cookie I've never made before. They're a Captain Crunch cookie. They involve Captain Crunches. They're basically just a cookie with Captain Crunch in it, but they sounded good. Thought I'd try them, something new. Uh, Help me practice a little more for getting ready for baking season. We make an awful lot of cookies here, cakes, pies. Thanksgiving's just a few days away, so I'll be making pies also. Um, and as you may have noticed in my videos, I spend a lot of time in my kitchen. I like my kitchen; it's comforting. They, I bake a lot, I cook a lot, I do woodworking, collect fish. Those are my primary hobbies. Um, and everybody should have a hobby. It really just makes time go by a little faster. Okay, so anyhow, enough rambling. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about customer care, taking care of your customers, and being a good customer. So, as far as taking care of customers, customers are the lifeblood of your business. Without them, you're not in business. Um, and no customer is the same. Some are happy go lucky, some are having a bad day. I approach every customer I interact with, and I encourage my crew to do this. You know, you should never judge anybody when they walk in the door. Um, Even though you may be having a bad day and everybody and you're busy or you're behind or whatever, that customer doesn't really care. So always greet them with a smile. You want to, especially as an associate, because you deal with the majority of the customers that walk through the door. Unfortunately, as a manager, you only get to deal with usually the angry company customers. Although sometimes you get to deal with all the customers. It just depends on how your shift is scheduled and what you're running into. But don't, no matter what your day is like, good or bad, you always want it to reflect good on to the customer. I could be having the worst day of the world, and when that person walks through the door, uh, I greet them with a smile. Hey, how's your day? Because the reality of it is they don't really care how your day is going. They're there to buy whatever it is they're buying. In my case, pizza, and they're hungry. Some customers get moody. And that's okay. They're allowed to be moody. Your job should be with customer interaction to make it feel a little better in the process. I had a lady come in my restaurant maybe 3 weeks ago now, and she was an older lady, and I walked out to help her, and I said, "Hey, how's it going?" And how you doing? And I had a smile on my face, hoping for a positive reaction. She said, "I'm just having the worst day ever." She didn't go into detail as to why she was having a bad day, but it had been a bad day from the start. And at that time, she was looking for meatballs. She couldn't seem to find any meatballs, and she was literally looking for 3 meatballs to put in her spaghetti for her and her husband, um, and wanted to buy a thing of meatballs to add to her spaghetti. So to make her day a little better, I gave her 6 meatballs. Just gave them to her. I didn't ask her for money for them, and what it got me a hug. She was so happy that she got meatballs, but it just made her day a little better. And I know down the road she'll pass that on, or at least give her a little bit of happiness for the rest of her day. And in return, she may come back and order $5,000 worth of food. I mean, that's a bit of exaggeration, but she may order $5,000 worth of food over the next year. That's a good business practice, and I made her day a little better. That's the important thing when dealing with customers. Most of the customers I meet, when I have to talk to them in detail and get to know them, which I know several customers. I try to get to know every customer I can as a manager. It brings them back. It does a lot of things for you. It makes sure their food's right. because you know what they're going to order most of the time, things of that nature. But anyhow, a majority of the customers that I know, there was something bad had happened in order for me to get to talk to them. Whether it was their order was wrong, their order was late. It doesn't matter what the problem was. In their mind, it was a problem. So when dealing with that, the first thing you need to do is listen, and don't think ahead of time. Truly listen to what they have to say. I have found 90% of the customers that are angry because something wasn't right. It was either because we had done it wrong previously, and unfortunately that happens, or they're having a bad day already, and they may have gotten tomatoes on their sandwich and they didn't want tomatoes, and they just want somebody to listen to them. So let them talk. Let them vent. Let them yell if that's what they like to do. Now, I mean, there are some parameters to that. You don't want them cussing you out and being mean, but most customers don't get that way. They want to be heard. So you stop and you listen to them, and then you empathize with them. You say, I get it. I would not be happy either. Or however you want to say that. Um, and then follow it up with, well, what can I do to make it right? I know in my case, we offer an in-house credit that we can use. We can offer to remake it. You can, the options up to them, and it's okay to give them a couple options and let them have something to choose from. Just try not to give away the house. I mean, if they order $20 worth of food, you don't want to give them, $40, $50 worth of credit. And by the time you've listened to them and you've given them a couple options to choose from on how to rectify the situation, they're usually calm by then. A lot of times they are impressed by the fact that A, you listen, B, you're willing to help and not argue it. Now, and they're better off, and you've made a friend. I do a lot of email interaction with my customers now. That seems to be the neat thing there, the new thing to do, and it seems to be the most interactive. Um, we'll have a customer that'll email the store to let us know, hey, look, this wasn't right or that wasn't right, and then I email them and let them know what I can do. They email me back, and it's actually a fairly quick process. It doesn't take up a lot of my day. It doesn't take up a lot of the customer's day. They may not be able to take a phone call, where chances are good that they have the ability to at least check their email quickly. So give them options, and in the process, you get to know them. You'll remember their name. They'll remember your name. And that, at least in my case, I have found that brings in the ability to know that customer, and you've made what could potentially be a customer for life. Now, you'll always have those customers that try to scam you, so to speak. They're looking to get something for free. They're looking to, not make your life rougher, but get more than what they want. And that's kind of a judgment call on how do you handle that. But, I mean, if you've caught them in an obvious lie, it's okay to deny them anything, but be polite about it. I had a customer a little while back who insisted that his pizza was wrong. It was 8 hours after the fact. And so I tried to look him up in our store system, and I can't find him anywhere in the store system for that day. So we're lucky in the fact that we have the ability to look up a person's order history for all stores of our company. And I look him up to find out that he hadn't actually ordered a pizza from us for the last 4 months under that phone number, and so I explained that to him. We tried a couple different phone numbers. It wasn't there. And instead of getting a credit, or a pizza remake, I just simply told him that wasn't something I was able to do based on the fact that, hey, you haven't ordered from us according to our system since August. And he was very insistent that he'd used our phone number. And sometimes we'll have people come in that order and we don't always get their phone number because they're waiting on their food. Um, and then in that case, he wanted to just have me remake the pizza right then and there, even though he'd already eaten and was gonna. And I had to explain to him, unless he had a receipt in this case, um, and could show me where he actually ordered from our store or any store on that day, that I was not able to help him, and that his best bet would be call our customer service department and talk to them about his situation. And of course, he acted very unhappy, but what it came down to was he was just trying to get free food, um, which in some ways I get, especially at the moment. We are in a pandemic. Times are rough for everybody, and you're trying to do the best you can, but let me tell you, that's just not the way to do it. Wrong is wrong, and you shouldn't do things like that. But but for the most part, majority, 99% of customers, they call and have an issue. They truly have an issue. There was truly something wrong. Um, and you should try your best to take care of them. There's always exceptions to rules, but you should always try your best to take care of them. Because in the long run, they'll remember you, they'll remember the interaction, and you've made a friend. Um, and in the business world, a friend can equal sales. Because even though you've made a mistake, the way you handle that mistake, they could go and tell 50 other people about it. Be like, yeah, well, they screwed up my pizza, but man, they made it right. They took care of me, they hooked me up, and that shows you have good business practice and good ethics. All right, so anyhow, I think that's all I really wanted to say about taking care of customers and being a good associate. Remember, like Mr. Rogers said, you never know what kind of day that person is having before they walk through the door of your store. So good or bad, you want to make their day, at least their experience with you, good. It's memorable. They'll keep that in mind. All right, I love you guys. Stay safe, take care, and I will talk to you soon. All right.